Welcome back to Afternoon Live. Our next guest wants to give your kids the tools to be financially responsible in the future. Here to share more, we welcome the author of How Money Works for the Next Generation, Act Now or Pay Later, certified financial educator, Christa Mathews. Thanks so much for being here.
Hi, Hannah. Thank you so much for having me.
We were just talking about how different kids' relationship is to money these days,
right.
Just not really experiencing cash very often.
I know. It's not a tangible exchange anymore. They just have a plastic credit card and beep, the purchase goes through, right?
It doesn't feel real.
No, and they're learning, auto pay is quick. I don't have to look at my finances every week, it will just go through. But it's so funny because we have to make sure we're instilling that financial foundation for kids early on because it affects their money mindset in adulthood.
And we really can start with even toddlers, right?
Definitely, yes. They're learning very early on, even that 6 to 8 range, that money is earned, not given, right? So even something like small allowances with small businesses, if you will.
Exactly.
Mowing lawns, lemonade stands, dog walking. It's teaching those lessons really early on, which is so imperative.
Let's kind of go through a couple of these age ranges. So let's beginning with 3 to 5. What are some basic things that are appropriate at that level?
Wants versus needs.
Okay.
Right? Because every time you go to a toy store, want, right? You just go all the way down the aisle.
Yep.
Yes, but even as you get just a little bit older, I'd say under, the 8-year-old, 6-year-old range, try going to the grocery store, going to a toy shop, giving them maybe $10 per se, and teach them. Say, do you want 2 little items or do you want 1 big item? Or do you want to save it, right? Anything visual is really strong for kids that age.
It really is fun for them too. They'll think it's a game.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
6 to 9, what can we introduce at that point?
Definitely. These are when savings habits really start coming into play. So you can start teaching them even with visuals like jars, right? Saving, spending, giving, things like that. Because they're picking up on those concepts from home. They're hearing the way parents talk about money either through the eyes of fear and scarcity or abundance and opportunity, right? There's a big difference there.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. How about 10 to 13? That's kind of those tricky, the tweenagers.
It is, yes. And a lot of times they're starting to want bigger purchases.
Right.
A game console, new gym shoes, or a bike, right? Yes, so it's important to show them that, hey, let's make a flow chart. Let's put it up on the pantry and let's watch your savings grow. Let's work hard for your reward.
Okay, and then what about the older teenagers? What becomes appropriate then?
Start introducing real world concepts before they get into the real world. It's so important to go through with them. Talk about credit, talk about how interest works, right? Talk about savings for college, right?
Yeah.
How are we gonna do this? Are you gonna get a part-time job? Do you wanna do extracurriculars? All of those things, it's really important to introduce that financial game plan for them.
Well, you mentioned earlier the idea of maybe some kind of a small business, dog walking, mowing lawns.
Right.
That can be so influential in just learning responsibility.
Definitely.
But it could also grow into something. I mean, a lot of people are doing these side gigs as their full-time thing now.
Right. And it's so funny because they all, they don't have traditional benefits. So they're starting to say, well, how do I save for my future?
Yeah.
Do I need to start thinking about retirement now? And the answer is yes. Because for our generation, the greatest asset we have is time. And that doesn't necessarily mean we have time to wait 30 years.
Exactly.
Say, we'll take care of that later. But rather to say, start now. You have decades to watch your money grow and do everything you need to protect it and even leave a legacy.
Well, and if you're an adult now and you're feeling like, wait a minute, I'm missing out, I've got lost time because I didn't grow up with these concepts, you still have time to make some changes too.
Yes, and education is key for that, as long as you apply it to your finances. I don't know if you've ever Googled anything about personal finance, your financial game plan, a gazillion results pop up. And your first question is, does that apply to me?
Right.
Do I need to worry about that now? So it's really best to talk to a financial professional, find that education, come with your goals and your dreams. It's all about knowing your numbers and where you are and where you want to be.
It's a lot less scary when you have somebody there to help you through it too.
It's a conversation. Yes.
Thank you so much. This was so fun. Great chatting with you.
Thank you very much.
We will have more information on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.